Anyone who has experienced or been in the United States for any period of time and experienced this country's history and knows it cannot have believed that it would be easy to elect a woman president, let alone a woman of color.
Because, because the disabledness of growing up as a black woman, you can't get nothing done. You just, that's it. You're doom and gloom as soon as you're born. As soon as you're born, she's so doom and gloom that she gets to show up to work with that peasy head and talk all these lies and tell all these stories, right?
I just want to say a word about Kamala Harris, the vice president, because she really put herself out there over the past few months at great risk and peril to herself and her family. She was thrown into the deep end of the pool politically and hit all her marks and then some, and showed up for America.
This really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign.
Okay, these people are losing their mind. She put herself out there at great risk to her and her family. I'm sorry, Trump is the one who had the assassination attempts, number one. Number two, she ran for president. I don't understand, shout out to her, whatever, right? But let us not act, what did she go to some war that I didn't know about? People run for president. And look at this guy, but yeah, because America's racist and it's the worst country in the world. But I got private jets and I got my seat at the table.
Was it? Amazing. Well, the fine folks over at MSNBC were in utter disbelief that the Democratic candidate, Kamala Harris, lost the presidential election last night because, according to them, her campaign was flawless. Now, here's...
when propaganda goes wrong.
Now, here is Joy Reid making the case. She's making the case. She's going to bolster the argument that Kamala Harris had a perfect campaign. Let's watch.
And I think it's important to say that, anyone who has experienced or been in the United States for any period of time and experienced this country's history and knows it cannot have believed that it would be easy to elect a woman president, let alone a woman of color.
Because the disabledness of growing up as a black woman, you can't get nothing done. You just, that's it. You're doom and gloom as soon as you're born. As soon as you're born, she's so doom and gloom that she gets to show up to work with that peasy head and talk all these lies and tell all these stories, right? That's how doom and gloom. It's just so terrible for black people, especially ones with peasy heads. They can't get anything done. It's just like, my gosh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing this. I really am.
Let's just be clear. And nothing that was true yesterday about how flawlessly this campaign was run is not true now. I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed. She had every prominent celebrity voice. She had the Taylor Swift. She had the Swifties. She had the Beehive. You could not have run a better campaign in that short period of time. And I think that's still true.
Nobody cares about Beyonce. I'm sorry, they don't. I'm not trying to be funny. I still like her songs. That whole thing about celebrity endorsements, by the way, they might as well stop it. In 2028, when they run Josh Shapiro, I hope he does not do the whole Eminem, Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage, Lizzo talking about Make America Detroit again. Please run a different campaign, okay? But there was nothing flawless about a campaign of celebrities talking about politics they don't know anything about, and Kamala not showing up. She didn't show up her whole time as the vice president. People don't know who she is. When she finally started showing up, she showed exactly how nervous and unprepared that she could be, okay? And that's a fact.
And I think that's still true.
Okay, but Queen Latifah.
Oh my God, she got Queen Latifah?
Queen Latifah.
Okay, thank God we're going to be in the White House. I wonder who her cabinet's going to be, because she ran a flawless campaign. She said, you couldn't have done it any better. She lost. You don't think you could run a campaign any better than losing?
She was...
That's amazing. She lost the popular vote. Okay, Jesus Christ, what kind of alternate reality do they live in?
She lost, yo. It was like a landslide. It was insane. It was like boom, 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 boom. Bro, I couldn't even dream it up the way how it happened. Wow.
Kamala Harris ran on the message of saving democracy as she was campaigning alongside a neoconservative like Liz Cheney, who ran interference, provided cover for the Bush administration which violated our constitutional rights and suspended habeas corpus. Just something to keep in mind. But she was a perfect candidate, Cenk. Perfect candidate. It's just that she was a black woman. And no country would ever elect a black woman, or the United States, of course, because we're just inherently a racist, terrible country, of course. And we would never elect someone named Barack Hussein Obama, who's also black, except we did twice. So,
and he polled at 83% popularity after his first victory. So this apparently in this country that is so racist that they would never elect a black woman had a black president at 83% approval.
Exactly.
Okay, but no, it's not the fault of your beloved Democratic politics.
They're gonna hate Ana for saying that. The left is gonna hate Ana. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you don't get it." The left doesn't get it. That, like, I know for me, I'm tired of being used as a victim. That's why I'm like, I'm not black. I'm just a Christian. Like, seriously, I'm like, well, you know, I'm whatever this isn't, okay? Because I'm tired of this whole thing. It's like, and that's a black woman, and black people, and you know, we have to do this for black people. No, leave me alone. So I'm not that. I'm just an American. Seriously, I do not need to be cudgeled. The left is gonna say that Ana's being racist for saying that, because we don't know how it is to walk in the shoes of black people, as if all black people have been destitute forever, all their lives. There's no successful black people out here. I am so sick of this argument.
Never that.
Guys, I just, look, this is something that I like to do time to time, just to make sure that I'm not going crazy. Because if you look at Obama's campaign speeches, you can juxtapose campaign Obama to President Obama, because when he was in campaign mode, he got it. Like, he understood what kind of messaging resonated with Americans, okay? He ran, I would argue, I wouldn't say flawless, nothing is flawless, right? But as close to flawless of a campaign, especially in 2008, as you could possibly run. And it's because he had a message that resonated with the frustrations of the American people, right? The economic instability, we were in the financial collapse of 2008 at the time, the frustration over the wars abroad. I mean, campaign Obama was incredible, so incredible that it didn't matter what his name was, it didn't matter what his skin color was. What mattered was the substance of what he was saying.
Yep. Like, a lot of people voted for Obama. Like, I remember that, the hope and a change, the whole bit, like, the charming way he spoke, his strong voice. I mean, they ran that campaign like he was Martin Luther King reincarnated, right? And everybody ate it up. We all ate it up. The second one may not have been as, you know, but we all ate it up. White people alike, too. They ate it up. And they ate it up in a way where it wasn't like they felt guilty and they ate it up. They were like, you know what, guys? Hey, let's just do this, man. Like, it's a black man who, you know, he's very well spoken. Let's bring the country together. There's just a lot going on. People are killing themselves over, you know, a financial issue. That financial crash was crazy. All of it. And he spoke right to the hearts of the people, and then turned around and was the worst president ever. As far as, okay, maybe not the worst ever, but like, I don't like a person who charms me into things, you know. But to this day, you have older black women who are like, oh, I love Obama, that's still my president. And I'm like, I'm not gonna take that away from you, right? So yeah, charming Obama, for sure. It doesn't work anymore, but I remember that time, so she's right. Kamala didn't run anything like that.
We didn't know what Kamala Harris really stood for. We didn't. Let's be real about that. And so that was a problem. To say that she ran a perfect campaign and then point to Queen Latifah endorsing her as evidence of a flawless campaign is delusional.
No, I'm never going to forget that line. That's now instantly one of my favorite lines. It's like an ESPN classic. She ran a perfect campaign. She got Queen Latifah. What more could any candidate do? And then she added, she had every prominent celebrity, totally oblivious to the fact that nobody gives a goddamn about your stupid celebrities. You care about them because you're like, celebrities. Oh my God. You guys are so precious, right? But what does a guy who's a steel worker in Pennsylvania care about Queen Latifah or even Beyonce or whatever? So look, I don't mind the celebrity endorsements. Maybe they help around the edges. Maybe Taylor Swift got some younger voters in, although younger voters didn't show up to vote because they didn't get anything from the Democratic Party. They would have much preferred student debt relief. than Queen Latifah or Beyonce, okay? But and it's not to say that there aren't some racists that voted against her because she's black, and there is some misogynists and sexists who voted against her because she's a woman. Of course there are, right? But was that the driving force in this election? No.
No, and it has to stop. It does have to stop.
She ran a flawless campaign. Let's rewatch it. I'm curious to see if I'm right about that or not.
And I think it's important to say that, anyone who has experienced or been in the United States for any period of time and experienced this country's history and knows it cannot have believed that it would be easy to elect a woman president.
I'm sorry. Anybody who's all this and experienced it and knows it cannot believe that it would be easy to elect a black woman. But you talk about this history, but they let you show up to work like this. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think you can complain when you're allowed to show up to work like this. Yes, I said that. I did. This is a miserable woman. I do not hold back on Joy Reid. She's very miserable. Some of the stuff she says is she purposely is visceral. She plays the villain. She knows she's playing the villain. She's doing it for content a lot of times, whatever. If she feels the way she feels, she does it all the time, even on in her personal like TikTok. She does this stuff. I don't know how long it's going to fly, though. I don't.
President, let alone a woman of color. Let's just be clear. And nothing that was true yesterday about how flawlessly this campaign was run is not true now. I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed. She had every prominent.
That was amazing.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. She should be roasted, mocked, and shamed for everything that she does. In fact, she is a mess. Joy Reid is a mess. They are all delusional. I see you guys.